Okay, guys, please let me introduce to you Valeria Tsygankova, who is a project manager in Wargaming and a part of R&D team by Sergei Bartakovsky. Valeria has organized the first game jam in Minsk, and today she will speak about a game design, a social experiment, and how to create a community of jammers. English speakers, please use the headphones because presentation will be in Russian. Please, round of applause.
Всем привет!
Hello everyone, my name is Valeria Tsygankova. You heard the presentations of pros before, and now you are going to listen to a newbie's presentation, who is me. I'd like to show you a video. This is a backstage of a first Belarusian global back jam, and we'll learn some things. How you save time during your presentation, how you put all your dots and T's and cross your T's, and how to make the best friends ever. I forgot the text. Shit. Camera loves me. That's secular. That's vanity. Game jam.
Да, тему. В Беларуси он проводится впервые. Как называется наша компания? Зачем мы это... Я забыла. Куда ты пошла? Мама, привет! Что происходит? Это Global Game Jam Минск. Я надеюсь, вам она понравилась.
Alright, I hope that you like this presentation as much as my mom does. So, what is it about? First, are there any game devs in the studio, in the room? Okay, I'll give you some story about the first day's game jam. Have any of you participated in any game jams? Okay. I googled the game jam history, and in Minsk there are only 5 or 6 people who volunteer and organize game jams regularly. And I'm gonna tell you about how we do this and the lessons learned. Some useful tips. You have to write everything down, it's super important. And I use the word NASA in my presentation, don't be surprised, because NASA is a volunteers initiative supported by Wargaming. We also have some sponsors, but we're always missing on something. But as soon as NASA joined us, then we got all kinds of nice perks and bonuses. Everybody wanted to help us all of a sudden. So what is a game jam? If you open a wiki or a regular newspaper in Chelyabinsk probably, you will see this definition. Game jam is a speedy game design in a sleeping bag. But it's not quite so. Well, the main thing about game jam is it's fun. It doesn't lead us anywhere necessarily. It just helps you to get a better, fresh perspective on things. And people are always constrained by time, limited by time and resources. And when reporters ask us about what jam is, then we give them this definition. This is one of our participants at first game jam. It may be very, very different. Everything depends on organizers and participants. It may be online, offline platform. Time may be limited. 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 2 months. Different level, different skill sets, and different results. Game jam history. I included this slide on purpose because I actually could speak only about Minsk Game Jam. I've been doing this for 16 months, or rather 18 months, and I'm getting crazy when my computer colleagues say, "Game Jam, what the hell is this?" Because we're doing some AAA projects, and we didn't hear anything about the Game Jam. So people who think that they are in the biz, they still do not know what the Game Jam is sometimes. And Game Jam participants is usually students and school children, but no, it's a common misconception. It's not really so. It's the first official Game Jam in 2002, but they probably happened before because it should have happened before. It was done by 14 guys, organized, I mean. You can see the names of these guys: Doug Church, Jonathan Blow, and Austin Grossman. They wanted to do something really special, something that has never been done before. They wanted to write an API, an engine. Yes, this is how it looked like, 2002. Yeah, don't be surprised. And they've made a game that is well known to everyone. Joke. But they've involved a huge number of people in this Game Jam, and in the first one. One of the most popular Game Jams features the guy who created a game called Lucas Pope. His name was. The game was called "The Sea Has No Claim." Nobody could beat this game. This is the first screenshot of the loading screen, and you can see it on his website. Game jams can be very different. These are 7 game jams that I know of. Ludum Dare. This is one of the most famous game jams. It started 4 months later than the first indie game jam. Now there was a 35th game jam. They're now doing some polling on their website, and they hold it twice a year for single players or single coders and team coders. Another one is Global Game Jam. The organizers managed and succeeded to promote this idea throughout the whole planet. And how can you promote this F letter? That's a Finnish game jam. They first participated in the Global Game Jam in 2010, and in 2014 they had already 14 locations that were holding their own game jams. This picture with a Viking helmet, it's a Danish game jam in Copenhagen. They've just hosted a 10th game jam on April the 8th. They are gathering a record number of people on one platform. First there was 500, now it's 900 people in one university building. One game a month. It's a game jam. It's the most hardcore game jam for the most crazy people. People are making for 1 month a new game. Below there are 2 Russian game jams. You probably have heard about these Russian game jams. And Game Dev Party. They say that's St. Petersburg game jam. If it's not enough for you, then there is a website called Indie Game Jams that has a schedule of all game jams that are currently going on. Something is focusing on computer graphics, something is focusing on sound design, so you can pick one for yourself. Sometimes people say game jams is all fine and well, but it doesn't lead us anywhere. It doesn't bring us any result. Lera, where is the money? I hope everybody knows this game. I can hear you shouting that you know this game. So, what is this game? It was done on the Global Game Jam in 2013. It's called Surgeon Simulator. This is a Russian game. It's called Punch Club. When I tried to test it on my friends and family, I showed them this picture, and nobody said, "I don't know anything." And a friend of mine told me, "Don't tell them what kind of game it is. Tell them that they've earned $1 million in a couple of months, so everybody will know very soon." This is Nikita, who featured on our first Belarusian game jam. This game is called Broforce, and so from Ludum Dare. But there are actually few games that reach this final production stage. As you can see here on this website, on the Ludum Dare website, there are 36 games on Steam right now. There were thousands actually, but it's okay, it's normal. People don't come to a game jam to make a super wonder game that nobody have ever seen before. People actually come to game jam to become an Ivy League of sorts. And our Minsk story just proves this. The first Belarusian game jam was in 2015 on 23rd, 25th of March. We were not the first ones in Minsk, of course not. People organized game jams when I was working in another company, Needle Company, and game dev looked like this Russian text, English text, Korean text with tags, and you have to not miss any tags. But so we've organized this game dev, and probably Wargaming brand also played its part. We actually had a team from Amsterdam that were doing some exchange training in Minsk at that time. Also Cuba, Ecuador, and the Faroe Islands joined our game jam. They actually have their own game jams. That's super cool. So we had a 48-hour marathon with 75 people. In a year, we organized and hosted 4 game jams. The main thing is the number of participants and the number of games is constantly increasing because we have created publics in social networks and groups. We constantly feeding the participants with some new materials and trying to share experience, trying to share some new ideas. People usually ask me about the technologies when I'm talking, and here is technology for you. Global game jams use this technology that it shows that across the planet the best tool to develop a game is Unity, and the second closest is Unreal Engine, but that's worldwide. We have only 5 games that are using Unity, and another 5 out of 10 is using something else. So we are not restricting people in their tools. So if a game designer comes on a game jam without a programmer or art guy, he can also create something new that will be able to win something. And speaking about the professionals, who is participating? And where is Belarus in this scale? First, we had 50-50 programmers and designers, but we had no art people. So I myself had to do something in pixel art just to help people out. So after it, we started to select people, to trying to find people among the artist communities, sound designers, people dealing with another aspects. So now we have a very representative crowd. We have now watercolor graphics games or games with real sounds, and that's our strong competitive advantage on the global market. So how does it happen? We've been active just for 1 year, and within 1 year our Belarusian guides managed to win several awards. For example, number 3 in Ludum Dare 34. And there are also some examples like this. Crisis game was done on the first Belarusian game jam, and it's very successful. So, like I said, the game jam was organized just recently, and in December, Belarus was in a recession. There was a huge economical crisis, and this game is about this crisis. Unfortunately, so all you have to do in the game is to find a ATM. Unfortunately, they couldn't sell this game. They won number 7th, I think, 7th place on the Global Game Jam. But just recently they've passed the green light. They had to change the name, of course, but it's now on Steam. So it's very good. I'm very glad for them. It's called State of Anarchy right now. And this is our first team. It had been extended with volunteers. Unfortunately, I don't have a group picture. That's something for us to improve. Some good advice. Well, I probably should have started with good advice. If you want to participate, don't think that you are going to create the best game in the world. You are here to play, to experiment, to try out some new patterns, some new mechanics, and find someone who is understanding these mechanics. You are here to get experience because you are participating in elevator pitch. You have 1 minute to explain some cool guy all the perks and bonuses of your game and probably get financing. Our regular participants already know how to do this elevator pitch thing. You also get teamwork skills, stress management. Well, I failed in this. I'm still stressing out. Also prioritizing and thinking about the results. So you're starting to act like a result-driven person. If you want to be an analyzer, all you have to do is skip the mistakes that we've made. Don't motivate people with expensive prizes and awards. Global game jams, international game jams have some very good bonuses like money or quadricopters or drones or scooters or softwares. We nearly made wargaming go bankrupt during our first game jam because we were giving out some very expensive goodies, and people were not really happy afterwards because when the prizes were a little bit less expensive. And what else can I advise you? Don't listen to the people from the game industry. Of course, they give you some good advice, but the situation is different. It's not everyone is working in a war game in a huge and successful company. In a game jam, you have to do games in the wrong way, actually, not the right way, but the wrong way. Our main goal is to meet people, to allow people to contact. And if you want to make a wonderful game but you don't have a wonderful artist, then on a game jam you can contact, you can see the guys at work and you can meet the necessary relevant guys. We're also doing some action like plans, documents, and it helps you to stay on course. Now a couple of words about NASA. Right now I have a plane ticket in my pocket. I want to go back to Minsk because right now we are hosting NASA Challenge, for the fifth time on the planet and for the first time in Belarus. Russia is not participating. Well, Russia is not organizing this jam, so people from Moscow and St. Petersburg came to Minsk. NASA provides some research data and access to their databases, and there are various goals depending on the difficulty level, from 6 to 4 goals in various categories. You actually, the main prize is to participate in the rocket launch at Cape Canaveral. So this is our results. For the first game jam we had 107 participants. When the registration was over, we had over 350 participants, and we could have had more, but our venue is not big enough actually to ensure such results. And to ensure the well-balanced representation, we have actually doctors and physiologists, because if you want to develop a sports game for an international space station, you have to have doctors and physiologists. So we had 5 preliminary meetings, people who are doing with facilitation, with astronomy, with various areas, and we asked them what we need to pay attention to. So this helped us to build a professional team. Because when you see a doctor, when a doctor comes to a game jam, he sees all the programmers and coders, and he doesn't know what to talk to the guys about. So we did various pollings, various role plays in social media and social networks, try to let people know each other. So we selected also some materials from the NASA website, because it's rather hard and time-consuming to read the whole NASA website. Besides such housekeeping issues like sleeping bags and toothbrushes and toothpaste and stuff like that, you have to think about all things like that. We also sent 177 children's pictures to space, to the astronauts. Well, actually, to the open space. So it was another branch of NASA's who came up with this initiative. Children could write something or draw something, and we will send them in space, they said. So that's what we did. We prepared around 200 pictures and things, and very, very soon it will be launched in space. And in 3 years, our drawings will be on one asteroid in an open space. Okay, that was it, abruptly. I hope that I am enthusiastic enough for you, so next time I will have new organizers or new participants, maybe in Wargaming St. Petersburg, can help us with it. We have some time for several questions, so should you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We won't bite. Okay, Larry is here anyway. You can ask questions to her privately during the coffee break, or... Okay, we have a question. Wonderful. Have a unusual question. You showed us the chart about the programmers and game designers, and the third column was transgenders, and transgenders were like 60% of the whole participants. Well, that's how it looks like. Well, I wanted to make a joke about this, but now I cannot, because it turns out to be really so. Thanks for your presentation. Why Roscosmos is not participating? Russian Space Agency? Or they simply don't have access to Cape Canaveral? I don't know, actually. I know that last year we had the game jam in Russia, and it was in St. Petersburg. But as far as I know, organizers now moved to Seattle, and probably Roscosmos wasn't informed about this collaboration, so we have an asset to collaborate with. Okay, that was unusual, that was unexpected. This NASA angle was a very cool and very lively presentation. Thanks. Something I'm not quite clear with. How do you make sure that people know in advance what people are working on? So you have 48 hours to show something, but where is the guarantee that do you check their progress, or do you check that they've been informed a couple of months before the game jam? They know what to do. Well, of course you can cheat and find your way out, but there is always a way to make sure that people don't cheat. For example, various global game jams keep the main topic a secret. It's a very, very strict secret. So organizers know this topic 24 hours before global jam starts. That's what we're trying to do. But since we're all people and the Earth is round, as they say, nobody can. So when people know already about the topic, nobody is allowed to post anything on Facebook or Instagram, so it's hard to get prepared. But you can bring your code and with you, and some work that you have already been done, because if you have a professional, you cannot ask this professional to forget everything that they already know. But there is a certain limit what you can do within 24 or rather 48 hours. You can cheat NASA actually on a local level, but working with a code, is then sent to global organizers, and people make sure that this is, well, they see that this is a very well prepared game, or this game has already been featured on another game jam. So it won't be a big problem, but they won't get any awards and prizes. English question.
Love game jams as well. I did Ludum Dare 33, 34, and 35 2 weeks ago. One of the things I enjoy the most is the 3-week period afterwards when people play each other's games and they look at it. And I was wondering, for the live gatherings that you've done, how do you handle the viewing of each other's work? Everyone's been there for 2 days and sleeping bags are ready. Do they stick around longer, or how is that handled?
Так, можно мне сразу перевод, чтобы я не сказала какой-нибудь ерунды?
Да, значит, Уайт тоже участвовал в подобного рода джемах, и самый прекрасный период, который он, как он думает, после этого наступает, когда 3 недели люди играют в те игры, которые вот создали во время общего общения. Вот в твоем опыте эти джемы, когда 2 дня создаются эти игры, как после этого люди продолжают играть в эти игры и продолжают ли?
Okay, first we try to make sure that all the participants play each other's games. On day 2, we have a special room with the computers. Each computer has a representative of a developer, so everybody can play their game. He is explaining which key to press, etc., where to go. So everybody knows about everybody's products. It's not your ultimate goal to code something for yourself, but it's to see what others have done. And we also have quite lively discussion in our social networks. They are updating their games and uploading their new builds. We've updated the graphics, we've upped the rate, we've added some new boosting features, whatever, and they're always getting some feedbacks and comments, and we really believe it's an important thing, because it helps you to keep track of the progress. And this is the Ivy League that I was talking about before. It makes you feel a part of the community. A month after a game jam, you see the guy who was in a team next to you, and you ask him, so how was your window shooter, and did you finish it? And they said, no, it was a crappy idea. And you say, no, it was a good idea. And he says like, okay, then we will continue working on it, and he does working on it, continue. Okay, we have now next presentation. That was very good job, thank you.